Once you know the definition of metadata and you're ready to generate it for your data product, the next step is to think in more detail about what metadata is made of and what makes it complete. One way to describe the key components of metadata may be to start with the key features your data product needs to improve its longevity. A framework that has gained some traction for defining these properties are the FAIR principles, where FAIR is an acronym for the four general properties desired for effective stewardship of scientific data. Those properties include findability, accessibility, interoperability, and reusability. Findable data products are generally those that can be easily and reliably located by the community that can use them. Metadata that enhances findability is not just about the ease in finding your data, but also about the precision necessary to prevent your data from being found when it isn't really what the user is looking for. Both of these qualities are enhanced by using a vocabulary that is standardized to the community you hope will find and use your data product. Use of a standardized vocabulary also helps with trained language models finding your data when it is appropriate. Once data can be found, accessible data are those that clearly describe if and how the data can be acquired. For publicly available data, this access should preferably include a way to download the data from an application programming interface, or API. This greatly facilitates use of the data in automated workflows. Note that not all data can be ethically shared with unlimited access. In these cases, accessibility may be more about documenting the existence of the data, even if the data cannot be used without permission and constraints. The interoperability of data products particularly requires complete and unambiguous metadata. Interoperability is enhanced by using some sort of community standard that makes it easier to integrate a data product with a larger synthesis. Interoperability might involve using a data structure that can be used by the target audience without having to learn technical skills that are uncommon in the community. Like findability, interoperability in metadata is mostly about using a vocabulary for describing the data that a given community can understand. This means avoiding use of imprecise terms that can mean more than one thing, or avoiding using more than one term to refer to the same thing. Finally, reusability is more a statement of the overall goal of FAIR principles, rather than something that is separate from the other principles. In general, metadata need to be complete and unambiguous to allow for meaningful reuse of a data product beyond its original intent. In that light, the metadata associated with findability, accessibility, and interoperability are really the same metadata needed for reusability. You can read more about FAIR principles in the documentation at gofair.org, where they break down each of these components into a bit more detail. In this documentation, you'll also find quite a bit of emphasis on generating data and metadata that are optimized for machine readability. Machine readability is a key element to turning the small data from individual projects into the automated big data analysis needed to address global scale environmental issues. While these are useful principles to consider carefully when building data products, they also have a lot of overlap, and they tend to be a little too abstract to define the components of metadata in enough detail to help with strategies for organization. To think about metadata organization, we really need a scheme that dives into a more granular perspective on the components of metadata.